early, I know. It's like 5:30, I think, Eastern Standard Time. If not 5, it was 5:25. I want to give thanks to the primordial mother. I want to give thanks to her. I want to say thank you for another day in this early rising Eastern Standard Time. I want to go ahead and say thank you, Great Mother, for everything. Thank you for being able to see, being able to breathe, being able to speak, being able to think, being able to have an open heart. I want to say thank you for everything, Primordial Mother. Without you, none of us would not be here. I want to thank you for everything you have provided for us. I want to thank you for everything in general. We ask you for divine protection and guidance. We ask you for your love, your nourishing ways. And on that note, Primordial Mother, we love you. And we ask you to keep on protecting us each and every day. For we love you and we honor you. And we want to give thanks to the ancestral spirits of creation, the angels, the ancestors. Thank all of you for another day. We ask all of you for protection and guidance. For we love all of you. Thank you. Ashe, 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 Aya Bobo. Let's go. Mental health is plaguing our community, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in our community is mental health. And I feel as though that many of us are going through a lot of mental pain, childhood traumas, family, with life. I feel as though that in our community that we're facing a lot of detriment, and in our neighborhoods, a lot of people have been going through a lot at home, stress on the job or losing the job or just so much I can name that we probably been plagued that's been plaguing our community, been plaguing us as a people, been plaguing not just us, but the way living in the ways of the West has been plaguing us too. Being POWs, prisoners of war. And I honestly think that's been really hurting us as a community. Looking at the physical standard in society, you know, as far as the beauty standard, as far as our women is concerned, for finally embracing who they are, they're still getting backlash on whom they are. So same thing for the men, like receiving backlash on who they are as well, and accepting who they are, and living in the ways of the West, and going through all the traumas in being in the West for both parties, both genders. I feel as though that these standards that's being shown in society, then many of us that's that been in the working field or corporate America, just living in this way of the West or the Western Hemisphere per se, it caused a lot of detriment. Even causes a lot of detriment for a lot of us. You know, um, some of us going through living in what they consider the ghetto, the hood, and all of the above. Even down to people that have been born with a silver spoon in the mouth. Everybody has have some sort of trauma in our community. It a lot of us have, not all of us, but a lot of us have. And I feel like that's plaguing us a lot, and it's also causing, uh, uh, if it's not treated, it can cause, how can I put it? It can cause a stunting out growth if not being treated. Um, I sometimes recommend therapy is one of the things. Even down going to a gym sometime, meditation, martial arts, something that can help us release the stress, release the issues that we may face in our communities, but mainly the community I come from. That really is needed. You know what I'm saying? I think that living is very stressful for all of us, but mainly the people that look like yours truly, because we go through a whole lot as a people. I mean, you gotta figure it out. All these creations that they say that was created by the palm colored people, and come to find out it was actually created by melanated people, not getting not getting the rightful credit where credit is due. And then you look at television, and all you see is people that don't look like us, or our musical genres, as far as rock and roll and jazz, country, you name it. Everything that we created is like, now you don't even see hardly us on there like that. You know, it's no love, it seemed like, in our communities like it used to be. It was like everything was made by design to tear us down. And yet, we still try to flourish, but we still have that situation in the back of our heads that really bother us, like trying to find out, why are we going through certain things. You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we still going through these struggles? Then we got the people that want to throw religion on us all the time. Many times, a lot of us are just can be lost in trying to find our path, which can cause a lot of mental strain. Being born in religious families and so on, not being able to think freely, to be ourselves, not to be freely creative for ourselves. We suffer for a lot. I'm just naming examples. I'm not saying it's all the way true with some of the examples that I'm saying. It could be anything. Even coming from home, from family members or families that are like chaotic, toxic. That can cause a detriment to us mentally. It's like we really got to start thinking, because a lot of us were born into these families that has been desecrated with so much mayhem, mischief, backstabbing, betrayal, you name it, things that's traumatic, you know? And many of us, know it or not, are going through mental disorders and don't even realize it because we did not get or did not seek the help or try to get evaluated. And we could think it's normal because we've been doing it all our lives. Well, throughout our lives. And then next thing you know, we find out what we have. We're like, oh, dang, I didn't know that. You know, I'm not a take a little time out from what I was doing. I'm not a professional when it comes down to that, but I'm just naming things for examples what could be plaguing us and our communities, or mainly our community, because it really affect us and our growth. We have to come to grips and realize that there's a reason why in our community that's the crab in the barrel mentality. We're dealing with a lot of self-hatred as well. A lot of self-hatred. Let's call it for what it is. Um, the saying goes, hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm saying? I really want us to really evaluate this. Many of us come from families that are so religious, into Christianity, into Islam, and Catholicism. We're born we're born into these families, and the first thing we hear when we're children, oh, sin. And everything that you do growing up during those time periods, it was committed. It was told to your family members, oh, that's a sin. And you being a child, you don't even know what the hell that is. It starts from when you are a child on up, and it's fear in your heart that every move you make, it's sinful. That's another part of the mental illness that hit us too. Growing, you're supposed to learn peace, exactly, transactly. I mean, we gotta really start looking at things, man. Like, so you mean to tell me? I'm just giving you an example. You mean to tell me being born and doing things as a child that was a sin? We got to start looking at all this stuff. I'm just giving an example. Why we never look at things like, how is that helping out that child growing up? I get it, you know, and then when the child grow up to be an adult, it's like a lot of times they got to break that cycle of fear and doubt that can also cause mental illnesses of wanting to express themselves. You're not able to tap into your potential. And I hate to use that word potential, though. I really do. Tap into your own power. Let's say that, because of that, of this mindset in the way of the West. Oh, this is a sin, or oh, you having your hair out, you having your locks, you having your full beard, you having your your self expression. You're giving yourself self expression by uh you know mask, not just you're wearing certain facial let's just say decorations, let's just say that, you know what I'm saying, to express yourself, who you are or whom you are, because you're being judged on the ways of the Western society. You're not fitting the beauty standard being a melanated woman. You're not fitting the standard of a man in the ways and the views of the West. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden they're trying to show, oh, you can go ahead and be natural. You can have your natural hair, sister. You can have your natural hair, brother. You can have the, but then at the same time, you're being made a fool out of, being mocked and everything. Now we're living in a society where we're facing even more blatant racism. One thing that we did do that I'm very proud of to get out of this mental hellhole that's been plaguing our community is that the whole thing that they saying we're delineating and everything, that's great. But what's after that? Because we still gotta deal with the mental abuse that we took through all this time, from home, through the television, through the school systems. You get what I'm saying? So what can we do? We do need to have certain think tanks. We do need to have, honestly, I feel like we need to have a co-ed think tank where men and women from the melanated family can sit down and express things that went on in their life, when in their life having a professional there to help them through the traumas. That's how I feel about that at times. And it don't matter what religion you practice, it's all about, hey, what can I do to make myself better? The mental suffering that we go through every day from dealing with different energies from people, different backgrounds. I feel like we need that kind of healing. I feel like anyway, we don't got time for no stone cold. This we ain't talking. So I'm just saying, like from that idea point, like what can we do? You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need a think tank or some sort of organization as both men and women can sit down and talk and not to be too emotional, but just talk about the differences that we're facing. Don't y'all know one of the biggest problems that took place amongst us as a people was the whole feminist movement? And that was created by women that was, palm colored women because they had a problem with their men, and then they needed the sisters to step in to help them with that and had them thinking you don't need your men. Now look at our communities now. Look at our women now. Stone Cold hadn't did nothing for my people, so that's why I'm doing that. He ain't do nothing for our people. So I'm over here letting you know I don't care about Stone Cold. So I used to watch that back in the day, but Stone Cold haven't did nothing for my people at all. At all. And for you to mention Booker T, that makes me wonder about how you are as an individual. Fred Flintstone, so yabba dabba do your tail somewhere else with that. So um it's like this. When it come down to it, I feel like we need that. We need a place where we can literally be ourselves and express how we feel and have a professional for the healing. And we all need to have a place where we can heal as both male and female together so we can all see the hurt that we have went through growing up in the Western Hemisphere of the racism that faces every day, which we see known as so-called white supremacy. That's just how I feel about that. And how we hurt each other as a people growing up as children too. I feel like we need to go through a lot of that because it's stuff that's how you doing. It's just a lot that I feel like that's been going on with us on a global scale, no or not. You know, and I'm not a professional. I'm just naming examples. That I've been observing, and one of the things that plagued me growing up was the religious aspect of things, and it would keep me from reaching the highest level of my power. And then I had to branch out and start reading about our ancient customs and everything else, and how at one point in time we were a matriarchal people, not patriarchal. You know, exactly. We have the solution. Exactly. How you doing, beloved? How you feeling, Gigi? I'm glad that you up. Um, it's just something I was sitting down because I'm over here studying for my final exam I have to take today. So I was just like, I don't know. It just started bothering me, and I needed Exactly. I agree. I'm just, it just hit me when I was studying. I had to wake up because I couldn't rest, and I have an exam to take today. So it's like, something to say, just do this quick live or do a live real fast about this, let me tell you, I love our people so much that I don't listen. I just want us to be better. I want us to do better. I want us to take back everything that we rightfully created and owned and got taken from us. Does that make sense? Does that sound like hatred? Does that sound like being uh prejudiced? I feel like we need to take back everything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know. It's just everything though, the beauty standard that they have for our sisters. You know what I'm saying? And it's like same thing with the brothers, that the standard they have for the brothers is like, hey, you know, I want to be real, honestly, and I don't care what people may think about this channel of ours. Let me tell y'all, I love our people. I love our people here. I do. And I feel like we done did so much for the world, and yet we still get crumbs. From the world of R&B, rock and roll, jazz, even down to classical music, down to country music. Honestly, I think we should take all that back because honestly, I'm gonna be 100%. When we did all of that, we got the backlash. It got the that gave us nothing but a big fu, and then all has been done has been all we've been going through is being spat on, crapped on, laughed at, made a mockery out of. Then, to top of all that, our women are being overly sexualized, and damn near they created a platform, a fixation of making our women be a fetish. Now you got all these different nationalities of men wanting to be with our women, but don't love them for whom they are. Exactly. I'm with you on that, GG. It's just, you know, I'm gonna be real. Like, I look at it from so many different levels. We appreciate that. You know, we go through a lot. The women here is not protected, nor the men. It's like, oh wow, no, no, we fall from that because even we influence Russia. A lot of people don't even know that. Like, I don't. It's like this. We influence Russia. We influenced everybody across the planet over here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on the planet, know it or not. I'm gonna be real with y'all. We influence the Africans. We influence everybody. And the sad thing is, there's a lot of brothers and sisters in Africa that be trying to take credit on what we built over here, and it's like, yo, no, we did this on our own. Like, it's like everybody take, and all we do is just look like, damn, like y'all want to take credit for everything that we do. Everybody be trying to take credit for the things that we do, and then it's like we're being made a mockery out of, foolish, and then our women they looking at our women as a fetish, and then it's like the whole feminist thing destroyed the families in the whole. Let me tell you, man. Then the top just did me, y'all. I ain't even hit no button. They just took me off and then they start playing something on YouTube. They don't want me saying nothing about us. Nothing. Thank you. But the whole thing is, you know how they just took me off again. I'm trying to say something positive, and they still. That's how you know I've been shadow banned for real. They don't even want me speaking anything plaguing our community, or even trying to uplift our community. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, they don't want me doing anything. If I was talking some street shit, violence, and all that, oh, I would get all the views in the freaking world. If I was using the stereotype stuff, they'll be giving me all kinds of recommendations and all the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? The algorithm would be like on point. They'd be like having everybody come my way. But for once, somebody speaking something positive and trying to uplift the people, uplift our community, trying to figure out things because we're plagued with so much things going on with mental health. We battle this all the time. The images on television, the movies, all of that. Okay, that's great to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, y'all. It's a shame that some of us have to leave the United States to find comfort somewhere else. And then we go somewhere else. Sometimes we're around people that don't even look like us. And we still find comfort. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot. It's a lot to think about. Because I done seen how people leave the U.S. that look like us, and they go to Thailand. They go to like Indonesia, all over. They even go to Africa. They try to go somewhere just to get away from the stress and the mental, uh, with the mental problems that they face, emotional problems that they face over here. And some of us are not fortunate to have that type of finance probably to do that. Some of us have families, children, and we got to deal with this. You know, so growing up, and I'm seeing my children every day, and I'm like, I don't want them to be going through what I went through. It starts off with the youth. It starts from home. Exactly. Exactly. You're right, Gigi. That's what I'm saying. Consumerism exasperate. I think that's what you said. I'm trying to pronounce it. How you doing, Eric? But everybody, like, I'm just saying something. I'm speaking to everybody. Like, I just don't. I don't. It's really plaguing us. Like, I don't think people really know what goes on over here. I don't think they really don't know what goes on over here. Let me tell you, like, I talk that's in right now. And they actually think that we have all this money. They actually think, a lot of them actually think that we're just making it big. Like and they looking at the whole hip hop scene, and they're being shown the movies that deal with violence, and they thinking that's how we are over here. Don't y'all know how much they done lied to everybody and having people thinking that we're evil, and have people think we're violent all the time? They put the false narrative on us every time. And that causes a lot of mental, how can I put it? A lot of issues mentally that can mess us up. It can cause delusion and confusion and chaos at the same time, and not getting the proper parenting at home, because the simple fact is that a lot of the parents at home, not all, a lot of the parents at home are doing some sort of drug substance abuse or something of that nature, or even going all the way into their religion, and all they can do is talk about religion all day. And when that child, all the child wants is love, support, and want to have that comfort, or that child, or even down to the parent, is come make ends meet to feed their children. You have single, exactly. That you got the mothers or the fathers, single mothers, single fathers, trying to provide for their children, trying to play both parents, parental roles. Then at the same time, they're trying to also love themselves, and then they're trying to significant others so they can build together. Yeah, I agree with you saying. I think I know what you're talking about, and it's like, even despite on that what you're saying, fam, it's like, yeah, let me tell you, one of the problems that we face in our community, we're trying to look for leaders. Let me tell you about that too. This is a part of the mental health part. We're trying to look for, and I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about a lot of our people looking for a leader or a savior. Let me be honest. Every leader we had, our people destroyed them. And you know how? You had the COINTELPRO. They had a lot of people infiltrate as that was agents and all of that. Our people did. Our people did that. And it's a shame. I'm just being realistic here. I'm being realistic. A lot of our people did that. We had a lot of people that looked like us that betrayed us. You know? No, of course not. I mean, I agree with the whole thing with Obama. Like, it's like, but that's the thing. We keep on looking at the politicians. A lot of the politicians were already bought. They were bought and paid for. All the politicians are paid actors that just talk. A lot of them. But that don't help us as a community over here. All it does is trying to pacify us. But this is the thing. This is the thing. Thing is, at the end of the day, we're faced with a lot of issues in our community that is very detrimental. Religion is one. What's going on? The environment, our living situations, and where we are located at. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with politics, but politics, it plays a part, but it don't play a part. Because over here with us in our community, we've been lied to by a lot by the politicians. So that's why a lot of us don't want to hear what the hell they got to say. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of us don't give a damn about the politicians because they've been bought and paid for. I would say right now, y'all saw the mayor of New York. He said that New York, that the U.S. was built by immigrants. That's a goddamn lie. That was a slap in the face of our people. Immigrants didn't build this country. That's another part right there that can mess with that can cause a mental illness to people. You know what I'm saying? What do I think about that? First and foremost, black. Do my skin look black? I highly doubt that, right? Black is the color of this. Melanin is what we are, melanated people. Something that you probably lack. Because if you really knew what melanin was, you would actually know how to properly talk to yours truly and others that look like me from my community. Otherwise, you're dealing with Christian color codes that was brought to you every by the Vatican. Because truth be told, I can literally break down a lot of things that make you hurt your feelings about who you may be. You understand? So before you even go there with that, we're going to go ahead and start correcting this. When it comes down to the word American in the Black Laws Dictionary, actually mean the word American actually mean cop colored, not white people, not Caucasian, which is the term. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Caucasian is the original name for those that are called white tea people. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be technical, I can be realistic about it and say that we civilized you. We taught you civilization while you were in the caves, in the mountains, and y'all were, many of you were up there doing some crazy stuff, and we civilized you and taught you how to be civilized. And to top all that, to be more technical about that and be more realistic, if it wasn't for us, you would be walking on all fours still to this day. But I digress on that. So, back to the matter at hand. I don't like dealing with. I'll go ahead. All right. So, like I said, it's been plaguing us for a while. Like all of that. You know what I'm saying? It really bothers. It really bothers me a lot. And we deal with the sheer ignorance just like that. Being called black. We're not black. We got to get out that term black. Because if we really look at the word black in your Webster's dictionary, it means evil. That's in their terms. But can I be real with you real quick before I go into more what I was saying? The word black is also connected to the word blanc. Blanc is also what they call Caucasian people. Did y'all know that? The tables have turned. Y'all switched y'all shit around on us. Just saying. And calling us black, and actually it was actually y'all that were the black people, not us. So I digress on that too. I just wanted to put that out there because sometimes we got to start correcting people and start really breaking stuff down. The etymology of words is real true. But back to the matter at hand. It's stuff like that that we face, being called black, being called this, being called that, being called the N-word, being called everything in it, and being called lazy, being called sorry. We're never a sorry people at all. Let me tell y'all some real stuff. The thing that really hurts us as a community, that we're so kind-hearted to everybody. But when it come down to people that when there's people that don't look like us, we kind-hearted to all of them. But when it come down to our own, a lot of time we have so much self-hatred that we don't really show the love that we're supposed to show to one another. And I want to say thank you, Gigi, for everything that you're saying to you, beloved. Thank you for the support. You and all the mods, I mean, y'all really mean a lot. And I appreciate you and all the mods and all the subscribers on this channel of ours, because I don't call it my channel. I call it our channel for a reason. Mental health in our community is so detrimental, man. I done seen it in the city that I'm in. I seen how our people are acting, being caught up in the ways of the West from stress, from going to schools, going to these jobs, being rejected, and then at the same time, let's look at what happened to all those sisters that got laid off from their jobs, these corporate jobs, y'all. They don't want the DEI, all that. Don't y'all see the number that they did on us with the whole feminist movement? Now you got sisters finally saying that they need a man, but then they don't want just any man now. A lot of them want to have their own kind of men. They don't want no Chet or no Brad. They don't want no. They want a man that look like them. And it's hard. The dating scene is hard because let's be real. All these type of weaponizing organizations that came to decimate our communities. They decimated our communities because they did not want us to procreate with one another again. They didn't want us to start waking each other up. They didn't want our women to find their men attractive anymore. That's why they've been pushing this interracial agenda. This is why they've been pushing all of that because they know that our people are so screwed up right now that they say, oh, now they weak. We can go ahead and infiltrate and start procreating with them. That showed them the money and all that. That's all we need to do is show them the paper. They need to survive, right? Let's go ahead and do that. They threw that at us too. That's another part of the mental health situation, putting us in poverty. Everything was done by design to mess us up mentally, y'all. Everything. They designed it for us to fail. He did that. They designed everything for us to fail and not succeed. Ain't that something? Kind of the way they work. And it's like when they did this whole thing, they planned this thing and did it strategically. Let me tell y'all, we are POWs, prisoners of war. We are prisoners of war. I was watching something earlier yesterday, and it was talking about how Europe infiltrated the whole United States of the indigenous people, from here all the way to Argentina and so on, and started breeding out the melanated people. They had sex farms breeding out the melanated people. That's what they were doing. That's another part of the mental health. We're gonna breed you out so y'all won't actually see your own people in South America, in North America. We're gonna breed y'all out. We're gonna go ahead and do what we gotta do, and then we're gonna put our stigmas, our whatever, to make sure that y'all can see that we're more superior than y'all. Think about it. They control our media systems and everything. BET is owned not by nobody look like us anymore. That happened a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like they control your image. They done hit us in so many angles, and now we're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of our children that are getting with depression. What is it? Depression, anxiety, and all this other stuff that come from the vaccines. You know what I said? Vaccines. Oh man, that's where it come from. A lot of that, and then they teaching our young boys things in school, and then they try to put them down as what, saying that they mentally they're not mentally able or capable of doing things, and they try to call them, you know, and put them in special ed and all of that. Like, come on, man. And then you remember that the baby doll test when it came down to young melanated girls, had them choose between the one that didn't have the pigmentation of melanin compared to the one that was melanin back then. The child will always go to the one that didn't have the pigmentation. You know, I honestly think that we need a healing sector for us. I honestly think that we need a healing sector for us. We need a place that both male and female, or both men and women, can sit down and start the healing process by meeting each other, talking to each other, and talk about, with in front of a professional, or two, about the detriments that we face in society as a people, to help uplift us and help heal on what we see in our everyday environment. And that's not just the ones that's in the ghettos. I'm talking about even the ones out in the counties, and also in the country, in the countrysides and everything. Because we know that they see things too. I mean, come on, we're living in a Western society that took everything that we had did and claim it as theirs, or they destroyed everything that we owned, far as land, cities, put them underwater or bombed them, and took the ideas and the creations and claim it as theirs, and said, "Oh, we created that," knowing damn well they didn't create it. I can name things that they stole, the light bulb, all of that. You know, and that's the truth. So, it's just stuff that I just be looking at now, like, yo, we really got to think about it. Just saying. But other words, I just wanted to share that thought. I just wanted to. I'm like I said, I'm not a professional. It's just things that I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? That just be messing with me mentally, and I'm like, damn. You know, what can we do to make things better for us? We need healing as a people. We really do. Because I done seen a lot of our people being bipolar, all of that. And I think it starts from home. I think it starts from growing up. I think it starts from what we see on television, YouTube, social media in general. And we've been falsified, lied to about somebody that look like this is better. It got to our women thinking that if I get one with a man that look like this, I'm going to be treated like I'm going to have a soft life. And down to the men, you think you get with one that look like that? Oh, I ain't going to have to worry about stress. Da 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 da. I ain't going to worry about this. But as soon as you have children, that child got to face an identity crisis. Nobody not looking at that. That child face identity crisis, y'all. They the ones that suffer because you're bringing them in a world filled with racism, hate, war, all the above. Things that our ancestors had to face. What can we do to heal that? I'm telling you, I honestly think we need to have a location, think tank, or a healing session where both the men and women in our community can sit down and talk about our issues and also talk about our mental issues with the proper professionals there to help us to go through the healing, to go through self love and I think what's it what's the word? Is it no shoot preservation or something like that. I can't pronounce the word, but something that can help us where we can heal. Going to seminars and what is it? Seminars and dealing with relationships, getting them paid money and talking about emotions and all. That's the problem that we're facing. We're getting too much in our emotions and not looking at the solutions to the problems. I don't, so it's like, somebody asked me what I think about. I don't talk about what. Come on, man, y'all trolling now. So it's like, so yeah. But anyway, somebody asked me what I thought about that whole algae. I don't listen. That's their lifestyle. I don't listen. Long if it ain't bothering me, I can care less. I'm not on here to deal with all that stuff. I'm talking about our people. I'm talking about our people. Point blank period. Our people facing everything, and we open up the doors for everybody. That's where I'm at. I'm on our people and what our people need to do and should do, and do our best to be great again. Because everybody is looking at us. Everybody use us as a catalyst, as a tool, as a catapulting tool to move them up. And yet we're the ones that's going through the whole seriousness of mental health and going through these detriments that's plaguing our community. And that is the issue that we are facing. We're going against so many different things as a people, as a nation, as a people of a once powerful nation, and still they're getting going through the disintegration of these people that's trying to destroy us still to this day, because they are trying to find ways of destroying us to get rid of us and to breed us out. Period. So that's where I'm at. So we need to find a way, and I want to let everybody know I'm out of here. I got to go ahead and get ready to go. I hope y'all enjoyed what I had to say, but we have to find ways of healing. All right? Y'all take care. Peace, love, light, darkness, supreme balance, which is the yin and the yang, which is the divine, feminine and masculine to bring forth supreme balance. This is Nega Dazo, and I want to let y'all know that I love all of y'all. Y'all take care.